I'm just back from watching the movie Him, and I have one question: is this movie executive produced by The Weeknd? Because is it made by the same makers of The Idol? The Weeknd, show your face. I see you when I know you when I see you. And I'm sure that The Weeknd is a silent producer on this because this movie has so many similarities in my thoughts about The Idol and this one. Without giving you spoilers for a second, I'll talk about spoilers in a bit. But without giving you spoilers, what I mean by this is that this movie looks good. Like when I tell you picture quality, the people look good. The cinematography, the scenes, mwah, it's very chef's kiss in the way that it looks. Brilliantly shot, beautiful film. And now, when we talk about the actual scenes and the story that we are telling, without giving you spoilers for a second, I'm about to get into spoilers, but without giving you spoilers, what this movie is about, I don't even know. Go and watch the trailer, and that's all I will see. Because now I'm about to talking about this with spoilers. So spoilers ahead. Let's get into it. This film, if you have watched this film, let me know what are your thoughts about this. What are your thoughts? Because this film, what I thought, and because I was really trying to like get my thoughts together before I came on camera, and because I was really trying to understand why didn't I really like this film, and one of the biggest things I think it was really because if you take away so many scenes from this movie, it would be the same film. Like the actual relevant scenes for the story that they are telling, they are like there are a few you can pick them out, and then in between there is so much filler that if you take out so many scenes, and I'm sure many are coming to your mind now that even when you think about this movie as a whole, really do it right now. Think about this movie. What scenes come to mind? And just think of how many scenes do not come to mind. Since that if they had really operated them, this film would have not been changed in any way. This movie, it was like a music video in a way, but when they do non storytelling music videos, where it's just like cute shot, cute shot, cute shot, cute shot. And then it's like they had all these very beautiful shots and they just put it into like, okay, this is a movie because we have all these beautiful shots. But then they're like, oh yeah, this also has to be like, a narrative. This it has to have some storyline. So there's a bit of a storyline here, but there is so much like the actual scenes that ties towards the storyline versus the things that are just here to look good or to just kind of again be a nice shot in this film. Let me get directly into my notes. So the first thing I want to say, and I just was having notes and as the movie went, so I'll just kind of read them out to you. When the barber cut his head, like in that first scene, and then he cut the head stitch. Oh, I thought that was very like I jumped, and also that leads me directly to how to talk about sound design. The sound design in this movie is so good. As I said, the crew did their big one. The sound design, the cinematography is so good, and I really wrote it specifically also on the use of shadows. I wrote it specifically where there's that scene where he's in the hallway or the tunnel before you run out into the field, and then there is silent, and then there's the guy that comes out like he's kind of bloodied in paint or something, and he gives him something. He hands him something. That sound and the use of the shadows there I thought was really good, and the way the movie uses light and shadows and sound design, the fantastic work as far as the crew went. Then I said another thing I just kept on saying was, do I love football that much? Do I love anything that much to put myself through this? Because this boy really good when he's told to strip naked, butt naked. I was like, oh wow, this is really like I guess, but again, this is like supposed to be his big opportunity. So I guess it's not trying to question too many things. But I was just like, wow. And then the more things just keep escalating, like, how bad do you want this? Why are you willing to sacrifice? The way I would be like, nothing. I want to go home. Can you call me an Uber? I'm over it. I don't want to sacrifice anything. What now? Like, also this, yeah. So that was just like I was like, wow, am I really ready to any, eh, sacrifice this much for anything? I don't know. Like, am I really willing to go through this much for anything in life? I really do not know. Then I also wanted to say, pop this jade egg in your pissoir that is said by Julia Fox. I thought that was so funny. I was like, because I was waiting for Julia Fox. I like Julia Fox. So I was waiting to see how she would enter into the movie. And that being her first line, pop this jade egg in your pissoir. It's just, I thought that was funny and interesting for her to enter into the thing. Um, yeah, when he's asking, what are we doing? When the boy keeps getting the ball hits in his face, I was really like, yeah, what are we doing? Like, this really got graphic, and I'm like, now why is your life contingent on me trying to like do this through or whatever? Like, I was like, oh, this is really a high stakes situation. Tie back to my question: can I really endure this for anything at all? I do not think so. Then I just kept on writing, is this from the makers of The Idol? A very good scene I can tell you about is when the Julia Fox and the girls come to seduce him, and then after he's woken up by Marlon Wayans' character holding the gun, and then Marlon Wayans' character is putting the gun in his mouth and giving him the whole spiel. I was like, this is straight out of The Idol. If they had told me As they didn't tell me what I was watching, they just showed me two scenes side by side. The idol plays here, this movie plays here. I don't know what is which. I will tell you that these two are from the same universe. These are from the same film. This is the same production. This was the idol coded this movie. Um, the next thing I wanted to also say was, yeah, there was so much religious imagery, like the image of the Last Supper where he finishes crying about his dad and how he feel like he's let his dad down, and then it pans out and it's like, oh, like the Last Supper painting and he's in the middle. The other part, even his agent like kissing him almost like Judas Iscariot did before he's then taken to where they all drink the blood, like the wine that looks like the blood. I was like, there's so much religious imagery here, and it's like you can tell that that was on the mood board. And you can tell that the directors and the cinematographers and the person that did the storyboarding for all of this, you can tell they had a vision. But where I think things were lacking, as I've already said earlier, is the imagery I want to show and how I want this to present and the references and all of those things versus the storytelling, like on the narrative, what story are we really pushing? Because essentially this story is a story of, oh, a person that, Marlon Wayans has sacrificed so much and has done the rituals and followed this cult to get to where he is now, and he's trying to get this boy obviously to come on board, and this boy has to but he doesn't really get sucked into the lure of the cult the way that Marlon did. So it's the story is clear. It's not like you really need to be an expert at to understand it. It's not like the story but the movie feels almost like the references that they use and the visual storytelling, so much of it is so stunning and so good and so nice, and the individual scenes work so well. But as a narrative piece, as I've already said earlier, you can take so much of it out, and the storyline itself still stays the same. So there's just so many filler scenes. It's like they just shot so many good scenes and said we need to put all of this in. If it matters, if it doesn't, let's just put it in there. Also, the opposite of a savior is a mascot. When he said that line, when he asks Marlon Wayans' character, what's the opposite of a savior? And Marlon Wayans says a killer. And he says, no, opposite of a savior is a mascot. In which dictionary? Where? Where is the opposite of savior mascot? I guess because Marlon Wayans asked him, do you want to be an effing mascot? Or you don't want to be an effing mascot in the beginning of this movie. So I guess it's like the opposite of a savior is a mascot. Like it's only being a mascot, I guess. But I was just like the opposite of a savior is not a mascot in any dictionary. Let's be guided. Then also the way he entered into the room with Marlon Wayans at the end and the whole final showdown started was so random and so abrupt. And then the ending too, that whole ending sequence of the cult already now arranged outside, the pentagram is ready on the floor. Let me tell you something, my cheerleaders, shout out to them. They said, if you like, I missed the bodies dropping, I missed the chaos. We've been paid a check to come and cheerlead, and we will cheerlead because it was so comical to me when I missed everything that was happening in the life of a showgirl, the life of cheerleaders. They said the show must go on, and the show went on. I thought that was so funny. Overall, this movie to me was kind of a disappointment. I was really looking forward to this movie. It's a beautiful movie in terms of the shots and the picture. But as far as storytelling goes, and the grounded story, and just like a movie that I would really want to go back to or really recommend for people, it's not really one of my favorite movies of the year. If you've been watching this video and you have no idea who I am, my name is VDK and I make movie bingo cards, which you can find on my Substack, VDK Film Club with substack.com. I also talk about movies. Until the next movie that I watch and the next video that you see me, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.